I hate long YouTube intros almost as much as I love Rock With You, so let's just get straight to it. Here's what I want to talk about. Rock With You is not only a perfect song, an incredible blend of styles that perfectly ushered in the 80s, the mark of a new direction for Michael Jackson, but it continues to be relevant to modern music today. It is perfect. There we go, intro over. Let's talk about past, present, and future of Rock With You. In the late 70s, Michael Jackson was already very famous because he was in the Jackson 5. He was the original Harry Styles in One Direction or the original Justin Timberlake in NSYNC. He had already released a few solo albums, but he was still a kid, and that era of Michael is very different from his most well-known songs. Then in 1978, he starred as the Scarecrow in the hit movie The Wiz. The late 70s was the height of disco music, and you can tell from the soundtrack. This album was produced by Quincy Jones. Now, Quincy was already a legend at this point, his biggest claim to fame being his work with Frank Sinatra. Watch this. I'm not even gonna play the track. Just imagine the song Fly Me to the Moon. You hear that? Yeah, that's Quincy's arrangement already living in your head and you had no idea. Anyway, Michael asks Quincy if he knows any good producers because he's working on a new album. After throwing out a few names, Quincy goes, "All right, fine, twist my arm, I'll do it." That's not an exact quote, by the way, I'm paraphrasing. So they start working on the album that would become 1979's Off the Wall. Quincy calls a songwriter he knows to see if he'd be interested in submitting a couple songs for Michael. The guy he calls is Rod Temperton, the keyboard player from the disco band Heatwave. They're best known for their hit song that Temperton wrote called Boogie Nights. The bass line to Boogie Nights is very similar to the bass line from the song Off the Wall. That's because they were both written by Rod Temperton. Rod Temperton submitted 3 songs to Quincy and Michael, all of which ended up on the album. Off the Wall, which ended up being the name of the album, Burn This Disco Out, and the song that's the reason for this video, Rock With You. Rock With You was actually first offered to Karen Carpenter before Michael, but she turned it down because it was too upbeat. Now, there's this other fact, heavy air quotes here, that's floating around the internet. I haven't been able to confirm it, so it might not be true. It's probably not true. There's no way that it's true. Okay, supposedly the original title of the song was supposed to be I Want to Eat You Up, but I just don't believe that. I wanna eat you up. No, that's just so ridiculous. Plus, the only websites that say that are like Michael Jackson, the God of Music.weebly.com. Oh, my bad, that's actually a real site. Anyway, Rock With You ended up in Michael and Quincy's hands, and the rest is history. Rod Temperton not only wrote the title track from Off the Wall, but several songs on Thriller, including Thriller. Vincent Price breakdown and everything. The man has a gift. But that's getting a little too far in the future. Let's just keep it in the past for now. Let's talk about what music was popular in 1979. Rod Temperton wrote Boogie Nights, a huge disco hit. Quincy Jones had just done The Wiz, which has a ton of disco in it. Michael was easing on down the road as well with Diana Ross, a disco singer. Are you noticing the trend here? This is peak disco time. Other songs on Off the Wall, like Burn This Disco Out and Off the Wall, are much more disco influenced, but Rock With You exists as this bridge between disco and pop. It's not quite as fast as a typical disco song, but there are strong disco elements. There's lush strings, horns, and a nice feel that makes you want to dance, but at the same time, the drums aren't playing 4 on the floor, which is a signature disco move. It's softer and subtler than a traditional disco song, but at the same time, it's clearly different from what you'd find in later pop music. I hesitate to call Rock With You a disco song, but it has obvious disco influences. Let me show you what I mean. Let's put 1978's Boogie Oogie Oogie by A Taste of Honey over Rock With You. It works! Not only that, Rock With You sounds even more like a disco song now. The album Off the Wall was released on August 10th of 1979, and just a month before, on July 12th, was the infamous Disco Demolition Night in Chicago, where they blew up a bunch of disco records at a baseball game. While this didn't end disco overnight, it definitely contributed to a fast decline. This is around the same time that James Brown tried to claim he invented disco, but that's already in a whole nother video. Now, Rock With You was recorded before Disco Demolition Night, so it's not a direct response to it, but I think Michael and Quincy could see the writing on the wall. Or Off the Wall? Disco is famous for its excess of everything. Lots of strings, horns, a driving drum beat, and Rock With You feels like it's only slightly excessive. Other songs on the album lean more disco, but Rock With You is starting to ease up on the disco gas a bit. Instead, starting to infuse elements of pop, which brings us to... Now, I should clarify, by present I mean when Rock With You came out and the time between the release of Off the Wall and Thriller. Kind of a wide present, but you get what I mean. Rock With You has one foot in the disco world and one foot in the pop world. The song is much more relaxed than a typical disco song. The drums are playing a danceable groove, but it's not four on the floor. Bass is active, but it's not as driving as disco. The strings and horns aren't screaming at you either. The instrumentation sounds like they're done shouting for your attention. They're gonna play a good groove, and if you want to tune in, that's up to you. And then there's Michael's vocal. The whole thing is much more relaxed, very smooth and effortless. He's not screaming at you, it's much softer. He's saying the word rock, but it means something different than it would in a rock song. The lyrics are a little more grown up than you're used to hearing him sing with the Jacksons, but it's got this unique, softer quality to it. He's staking his claim as an adult in this song, but he's doing it his way. Later Michael Jackson songs would up this energy, but this song is so smooth and so different from popular disco songs, it stands out. Also, there's a million little hooks, a million little things that you want to sing, like the opening drum fill, the backgrounds on the chorus, the bass fill in the second verse, the strings, the horns, the solo, the key change. It has absolutely everything in it, and somehow it's never too much. Never too much, never too much, never too much. Sorry, not the Luther Vandross song. That's gonna have to be another video. Quincy talked about this idea in an interview in 2018, stating, "You have to keep the ear candy going because the mind turns off when the music doesn't change. Music is strange that way. You've got to keep the ear busy." This new, subtler, less excessive sound, but still full of ear candy, would go on to influence Michael's sound on later albums, but with the notable addition of synthesizers. It was the 80s after all. Thriller has its own massive influence, but before you get there, there's other stuff that's continuing to play in this softer pop genre.
You gotta feel that heat, and we can ride the boogie, share that beat of love. I wanna rock with you, dance you in today. I wanna rock with you. We're gonna rock the night away.
Actually, Daryl Hall says that during the recording of We Are the World in 1985, Michael admitted to copying the groove and vibe for Billie Jean from I Can't Go For That. To which Daryl Hall basically said, "It's fine, we all do it." Rock With You perfectly blends the disco era it's coming out of with the pop era it's going into. Once Thriller hits, it's game over, but before that, Michael has to get there, and Rock With You is his vehicle to do so. Quincy Jones produced Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad, which I'm going to refer to as the original Star Wars trilogy of Michael Jackson albums. Sure, there's the prequel stuff, and the sequels have good stuff too, but there's nothing quite like the original trilogy of Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad. If you're not a Star Wars fan, my apologies, but I think this analogy is pretty solid. Off the Wall is the start of the Michael Quincy magic that would sweep the 80s and make Michael Jackson the biggest pop star to ever live. But now we're creeping forward into the future, so let's just go ahead and go there. Rock With You not only bridged the gap between disco and pop, influenced 80s pop, and helped launch Michael's career as an adult, but it remains massively influential today. Take the song Can't Stop the Feeling by Justin Timberlake. There are similar chords and a similar groove to Rock With You. Michael Jackson's influence on Justin Timberlake is very obvious, and they even released a song together in 2014 blending Justin with Michael's demo vocals for Love Never Felt So Good. And then there's 2022's About Damn Time by Lizzo. It's the same key, similar tempo, similar synth lines. Blending these two songs is so easy, it's really like About Damn Time is just 2022's Rock With You.
It's that bitch o'clock, yeah, it's thick 30. I've been through a lot, but I'm still flirty. Is everybody back up in the building? It's been a minute, tell me how you're healing. Cause I'm about to get into my feelings. How you feeling? How you feel right now? Oh, I've been so down and under pressure. I'm way too fine to be distressed, yeah. Oh, I'm not the girl I was or used to be.
Now hear me clearly. I'm not saying that the Michael Jackson estate should sue Lizzo. I think the Marvin Gaye Robin Thicke lawsuit is nonsense. About Damn Time is a different song for sure, but it's obviously very influenced by a Michael Jackson song from 43 years ago. Rock With You is my favorite Michael Jackson song and my favorite pop song of all time, but more than my personal feelings about it, I'm going to argue that Rock With You is Michael's most important song. It was the perfect song for the post-disco era, the perfect song for the beginning of Michael's adult career, setting up the Star Wars trilogy of albums for him, and it's so good that pop artists like Justin Timberlake and Lizzo are still influenced by it all these years later. In this video, I mixed Rock With You with a famous disco song, an early 80s soft pop song, and a Lizzo song from 2022. And it all worked. Because it's a perfect song, it's the perfect pop song. I didn't have an intro, I don't have an outro. Rock With You is perfect. For more music history videos, check out the rest of my channel. Drop a comment below, say what's up, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.